how to address the test later on. So you will have the idea of how are you going to, yes, how are you going to use the term unlock and dissect the content of vision, mission, and core values. Anyway, this is just a launching. During the actual training sessions, there will be in-depth discussion, no, as to the how are you going to study the vision, mission, and core values. My person, there are still who are asking to join. Please, go and facilitate, Secretariat. Okay. Now with my experience in vision, mission, and core values, I really tried to memorize it because they said it will come out and you have to memorize it. So I started memorizing it for a few days until I hated myself already because I cannot memorize. Kinilagay tiguang na taon sa ako na to pag nang idat-iradan na no? So it's very difficult to memorize it, but at that time I was able to memorize the vision, mission, no? But during the time of the test, I forgot. But I was so happy because during the test, I was seated in front of the room, and in front of me is the poster posted by the classroom teacher, siguro probably part of the so-called classroom structuring. In front of me is the vision, mission, or the DepEd vision, mission, and core values. So, murakog, hi, salamat. So, for few days, I was trying to memorize it. And finally, I was in front of it when I was taking the test. Okay? So, do not worry because in the classroom, there is also vision, mission, and core values. Pero basig adto kasaluyo mabutang, not like me that I was really in front of it. So, much better that you will memorize or study it, no? Kung kaya pang mag-memorize, you memorize it. So, how are we going to unlock, no, the deep meaning of the vision, mission, and core values? So, we'll start with vision. Very quick lang. So, we dream of Filipinos who passionately love their country and whose competencies and values enable them to realize their full potential and contribute meaningfully to building the nation. So in that first stanza, that's very clear, no? Passionately love their country. So as social studies teacher, that's easy to, probably I have the advantage. Love for country is similar to or synonymous to patriotism and nationalism. So in other words, you can check later on the state policies of the Philippine Constitution. We are trying to make our learners patriots and nationalists, people who will love our country. No? Then competencies. Later on in the session, the proper, we will have the together. We will do it. No, we will encircle. We will highlight. So competencies and values. So we are instilling them, molding them with competencies and values in order for them to realize their full potential for the purpose of contributing meaningfully to building the nation. So if you will take a look there is a premise, meron talagang idea dyan, na kapag nakapag-aral yung bata, natulungan natin silang mag-aral upang mahalin ang kanilang bayan and acquire the competencies and values. Therefore, their potentials will be realized and contribute meaningfully to the nation. Which is logically, kung i-compare mo yung bata, yung taong may napag-aralan at yung walang napag-aralan, makikita mo talaga yung difference in terms of contributing in building the nation, di ba? Kaya ang gusto natin, maturuan, makapag-aral yung mga bata, makapagtapos ng basic education para mayroon silang meaningful contribution sa pag-build sa nation. So kung kulang yung kanyang napag-aralan, hindi siya nakapag-graduate, limited yung kanyang contribution, no? So halimbawa, extreme comparison, kung nakapag-aral siya ng engineer, naging engineer siya, so makatulong siya sa pagtatayo ng, kung civil engineer yan, kapagtayo siya ng mga gusali, yun ang kanyang maitutulong. Makapag-abroad siya at can have a good job abroad and send remittances for the country. Whereas kung hindi ka nakapagtapos, anong pwede mong makukuha? So yun ang concept, no, sa first stanza. So the call for us as teachers and school heads is to make learners develop their full potential, graduate with the competencies and values, no? Para mayroon silang mahalagang contribution sa bansa or sa bayan natin. Okay, that's one, no? So the end goal is makapagtapos ang mga bata upang sila'y mayroong malaking maitutulong sa ating bayan. Do not forget that. Yun ang maging takbo ng ating Department of Education. At yun ay lalabas na konsepto doon sa test. Hindi na fill in the blanks, no? The tests are made by experts and it will be higher order thinking. So nasa sa revised Bloom's taxonomy. So nasa ano yan? Hindi yan sa knowledge category or remembering, but doon nasa analysis. No? Creating and evaluating ang takbo ng test. Okay. Now, we are a learner-centered public institution. That's the keyword. Public institution. Learner-centered, meaning ang lahat nating gagawin sa Department of Education ay para sa kapakanan ng mga bata. Second, para sa kapakanan ng mga bata. Next point is public institution. This is a government, DepEd is a government institution. Nabubuhay ang Department of Education mula sa buwis ng mamamayan. So, public institution, ito ay libre. Pagmamayari ng buong mamamayan ang Department of Education. So, lahat ng public school ay pag-aari ng gobyerno. Libre yan. Libre. Kasi bayad na yan sa buwis ng mga tao. Okay. Different in a private institution. I was from the private institution for 13 years. I was Dean of Student Affairs. I was Dean of College. So yung Dean of Student Affairs, yun ang madugo kasi doon ang bangayan sa tuition fee. So iba talaga ang takbo sa private school. Kasi nabubuhay yung institution, yung private institution, from the tuition fee and other fees paid by the learners, by the students. So nagbabayad sila para matuto. No? So that's the difference. Sa atin, public institution, we are free because in the first place, bayad na tayo, bayad na yung mga bata through the taxes paid by the parents. Okay? Clear ba yun? Learner-centered and public institution. So it is public institution, it should be free. Okay, next. DepEd is a continuing institution, continuously improving. Hindi perfecto ang DepEd. Ito'y nagbabago. Kung titingnan natin yung history ng Department of Education, naging DEX pa ito, naging NEXT pa ito, at naging DepEd na naman. So it is a growing. No, there is always room for improvement, and we are aiming for a better Department of Education. I, for one, I am teaching in the graduate school and I'm handling issues education. Maraming issues po, marami pong kinakaharap na issues ang DepEd. Isa yan sa pinag-aaralan natin sa ating sa klase. So, in this case, dapat accepted sa atin na the Department of Education is still growing and changing for the better. Okay, next. I hope that's very clear, no? Next is the mission. To protect and promote the right of every Filipino to quality, equitable, culture-based, and complete basic education. That's very clear in the vision, di ba? No, we dream of every Filipino. No? So, then, to develop the full potential. So, klaro lahat ay para sa mag-aaral yan, no? For the students, every Filipino. Then, where students learn in a child-friendly, gender-sensitive, safe, and motivating environment. Very clear. The schools that we have should be child-friendly. So everything as a school head, lahat ng gagawin mo sa paaralan, lahat ng polisiya mo ay para sa bata, and it should be friendly for the children. No, kung anumang pagbabago o proyekto na gagawin mo sa paaralan, dapat nakatuon yan sa kapakanan ng mga bata. Second, gender sensitive. Sa Philippine culture, as social studies teacher, very clear na nga dapat malaki pa ring bahagi ng lipunan natin yung patriarchal, no? Mayroong patriarchy na mas mataas yung lalaki kaysa babae and so on and so forth. Pero, objectively in our law, sa batas natin, meron na tayong batas na para sa lahat. Culturally, probably, mayroon pang mga communities na hindi pa tumatanggap ng tinatawag na equality, but by law, there is already gender sensitivity and gender fair treatment. So, kailangan sa polisiya natin, sa paaralan, pagpatakbo natin sa school, meron yang yung gender sensitive para sa mga mag-aaral natin, no? And the school should be safe and motivating environment. If we want to go deeper here in this line, we can always revisit or check the DepEd Order number 40 series 2012, the Child Protection Policy. Makikita doon sa Child Protection Policy kung anong dapat gagawin natin para ma-realize natin yon. Pangalawa, yung sa DRRM, kung paano natin gagawing safe and motivating environment yung school. Yun ang basis natin dyan sa pagsagot. So, but the point there is, ang sentro talaga dito ay yung bata at ang kapakanan ng mga mag-aaral. Okay, next. Let us dissect teachers facilitate learning. Klaro naman sa atin yun, no? You are only facilitators of learning. In fact, meron yung sinasabing 70-30, 70% para gawain ng mga bata, 30% lang yung teachers. No? So, just facilitate learning. Ito yung second idea, ang pinaka-importante. No? Constantly nurture every learner. The point there is constantly nurture every learner. Okay? No learner shall be left behind. Every learner. So, bawat galaw natin sa paaralan, bawat galaw natin sa school, kailangan dyan, nagserbisyo yan sa bawat mag-aaral. Okay, we call it in another group, but dapat hindi elitist. No, dapat hindi elitist yung paaralan na ang kinikater lang niya at ang binigyan niya ng pansin ay yun lang magagaling sa klase at yung may mga magagaling na talent at skills, no? Baka dyan natin makikita ba, no? Kasi ang mandate sa atin is nurture every learner. Magaling sa klase o hindi magaling sa klase, may magagandang talento at hindi dapat i-cater natin because ang mandate is nurture every learner. Why I'm emphasizing this? Because as school head, as teacher for 3 years and as classroom teacher for 3 years and as connected of DepEd for 10 years now, and as teacher and administrator myself in the private school, mayroon akong may makikita talaga tayo na may mga practices in school na kung titingnan natin ay tama, best feature, magaling, pero kung tutuusin natin, kung titingnan natin yan sa vision mission ng DepEd, yan ba talaga ay naaangkop sa tinatawag natin constantly nurture every learner, o kaya nurture a few learner, no? Take note of that. That's how are you going to make decisions as school head, and that's how are you going to be tested in the principal's test. Next, I think this is very clear, no? Administrators and staff as stewards of the institution ensure an enabling and supportive environment for effective learning to happen. The same. It will always be for the learners, no? Everything that you will do, every development, every innovation that you are going to implement in the school, you will always think that this is for the learners. Kung saan man mo ang imong innovation or development in the school if the learners are not allowed to use it to the fullest, no? Dapat lahat ng innovation na ginagawa mo dapat nakaangkla yan doon sa para sa mga bata, that this I will do, we will have this because it will enable and it will provide an environment effective for learning to our learners. Yun, no? Okay, next, finally, community and other stakeholders are actively engaged and share responsibility for developing lifelong learners. Very clear? You have family, community, and other stakeholders. Paspasan lang na to, ha? Pero the keywords there, klaro man yun, family, community, and other stakeholders. We are very familiar with this because mayroon tayong SBE, mayroong Brigada Eskwela. But what is very critical there is, underline if you have later on a printed copy, actively engaged. No? Actively engaged. But the special, the salient term there is engaged. No? Engaged. They are not part. No? Family, community, and other stakeholders are not part of the leadership and management, but we will engage with them to have them share the responsibility. That's the critical term, engaged only, and they have to share, but not the entire leadership and management of the school. Huh? Engaged. There are areas that they can be engaged with. They can share. That's why we have PTA, we have another group katong school that the barangay, ang LGU. So we will engage and share responsibility for them, with them, but at a limited portion, not the entire management and leadership of the school. Okay, so that's very critical because sometimes there are items there in the principal's test that we thought, because it is a practice, we thought it's the right one, but in reality it's not. No? I will share to you later on sa akong nakita dito sa test na because what happened in the 2016, dugay mi gawas ang among matagal lumabas yung result namin kasi daw nagmeeting pa yung mga regional directors. They were asking why maliit lang yung percentage at 2% only ang pumasa sa 2016 test. So they were asking what's the reason. So sabi ng pinipresent yun ng NQESH, ito yung mga tanong, ito yung mga situation, tapos ito yung mga sagot ng mga school heads ninyo. So tumahimik na lang yung mga regional directors kasi medyo kakahiya daw kasi ito yung sitwasyon na ibinigay sa test, Tapos, karamihan daw sa response natin ay ganito. So, hindi na lang umimik yung mga regional director, and that's the time nirelease yung result ng test na 2% lang ang pumasa. At that time, sa test namin ay 7 domains, and every domain you should get 70% rating to pass the test. Okay. Okay, next is, Jin, core values. Very easy. Kaya lang, di mana maka-Diyos. So, it's love, right? God is love. The Creator is love. Makatao, it should be just, no? It should be fair in the natural law of ethics. It should be just for everyone. Walang na agrabyado. Pero balik tayo doon sa ang lahat ay para sa mga bata. Na? Then, makakalikasan. We're training our kids to be environment friendly, ecologically conscious, and help, no, in the conservation of our natural resources. And of course, nationalism. That's very clear in the first line of the vision, no? Love. No? We dream of every Filipinos who love their country. Okay. So, I think that's it. That's how are you going to analyze later on. One line that I would like to leave from you to be able to answer the test is unlearn. Revisit. First is revisit the DepEd vision, mission, and core values. Then unlearn. Unlearn what you have observed in the field. Kasi maraming nakikita mo dyan na para sa iyo ay tama at kaaya-aya, pero in reality, they are not following the mandate of vision, mission, and the core values. Then relearn. Just relearn. Ito palang ginawa namin, yung mga practices na ginawa namin, ay hindi naaayon. Pero wala tayong magawa kasi hindi naman tayo ang school head. Pero sa deep on yourself, kasi ikaw pa yung sasalang sa test, you should know how to delineate what are the practices that are aligned with the vision, mission, and core values, and what are not. Okay? Sige. I think that's all, Sir Bro Levy, and I hope they can answer the test later on.